Good morning, friends. In today's session, I'll give you a brief idea about Animal Farm, George Orwell. George Orwell was the pen name of Eric Blair, a British political novelist and essayist whose pointed criticisms of political oppression propelled him into prominence towards the middle of the 20th century. Born in 1903 to British colonist in Bengal, India, Orwell received his education at a series of private schools, including Eton and Elite School in England. His painful experiences with snobbishness and social elitism at Eton, as well as his intimate familiarity with the reality of British imperialism in India, made him deeply suspicious of the entrenched class system in English society. As a young man, Orwell became a socialist, speaking openly against the excesses of governments, East and West, and fighting briefly for the socialist cause during the Spanish Civil War, which lasted from 1936 to 1939. Unlike many British socialists in the 1930s and 1940s, Orwell was not enarmed of the Soviet Union and its policies, nor did he consider the Soviet Union a positive representation of the possibilities of socialist society. He could not turn a blind eye to the cruelties and hypocrisies of Soviet Communist Party, which had overturned the semi-feudal system of the Tsars only to replace it with the dictatorial reign of Joseph Stalin. Orwell became a sharp critic of both capitalism and communism and is remembered chiefly as an advocate of freedom and a committed opponent of communist oppression. His two greatest anti-totalitarian novels, Animal Farm and 1984, form the basis of his reputation. Orwell died in 1950, only a year after completing 1984, which many considered his masterpiece. A dystopian novel, 1984, attacks the idea of totalitarian communism by painting a terrifying picture of a world in which personal freedom is non existent. Animal Farm, written in 1945, deals with similar themes but in a shorter and somewhat simpler format. A fairy story in the style of Aesop's fables, it uses animals on an English farm to tell the history of Soviet communism. Certain animals are based directly on Communist Party leaders. The pigs, Napoleon and Snowball, for example, are figurations of Joseph Stalin and Leon Trotsky, respectively. Orwell uses the form of the fable for a number of aesthetic and political reasons. To better understand these, it is helpful to know at least the rudiments of Soviet history under Communist Party rule, beginning with the October Revolution of 1917. In February 1917, Tsar Nicholas II, the monarch of Russia, abdicated and the socialist Alexander Kerensky became premier. At the end of October, Kerensky was ousted and Lenin, the architect of Russian Revolution, became chief commissioner. Almost immediately, as wars raged on virtually every Russian front, Lenin's chief allies began jockeying for power in newly formed state. The most influential included Joseph Stalin, Leon Trotsky, Grigory Zinoviev, Lev Kamenev, Trotsky, and Stalin emerged as the most likely heirs to Lenin's vast power. Trotsky was a popular and charismatic leader, famous for his impassioned speeches, while the taciturn Stalin preferred to consolidate his power behind the scenes. After Lenin's death in 1924, Stalin orchestrated an alliance against Trotsky and included himself, Zinoviev, and Kamenev. In the following years, Stalin succeeded in becoming the unquestioned dictator of the Soviet Union and had Trotsky expelled first from Moscow, then from the Communist Party, and finally from Russia altogether in 1936. Trotsky fled to Mexico, where he was assassinated on Stalin's orders in 1940. In 1934, Stalin's ally Sergei Kirov was assassinated in Leningrad, prompting Stalin to commence his infamous purges of the Communist Party, holding show trials, trials whose outcomes he and his allies had already decided. Stalin had his opponents officially denounced as participants in Trotskyist or anti-Stalinist conspiracies and therefore as enemies of the people, an appellation that guaranteed their immediate execution. As the Soviet government's economic planning faltered and failed, Russia suffered under a surge of violence, fear, and starvation. Stalin used his former opponent as a tool to placate the wretched populace. Trotsky became a common national enemy and thus a source of negative unity. He was frightening spectre used to conjure horrifying eventualities, in comparison with which the current misery paled. Additionally, by associating his enemies with Trotsky's name, Stalin could ensure their immediate and automatic elimination from the Communist Party. These and many other developments in Soviet history before 1945 have direct parallels in Animal Farm. Napoleon outs Snowball from the farm and after the windmill collapses uses Snowball in his purges just as Stalin used Trotsky. Similarly, Napoleon becomes a dictator while Snowball is never heard from again. Orwell was inspired to write Animal Farm in part by his experiences in a Trotskyist group during the Spanish Civil War, and Snowball certainly receives a more sympathetic portrayal than Napoleon. But though Animal Farm was written as an attack on a specific government, its general themes of oppression, suffering, and injustice have far broader application. Modern readers have come to see Orwell's book as a powerful attack on any political, rhetorical, or military power that seeks to control human beings unjustly. Historical context to Animal Farm. Russian society in the early 20th century was bipolar. A tiny minority controlled most of the country's wealth, while the vast majority of the country's inhabitants were impoverished and oppressed peasants. Communism arose in Russia when the nation's workers and peasants, assisted by a class of concerned intellectuals known as the intelligentsia, rebelled against and overwhelmed the wealthy and powerful class of capitalists and aristocrats. They hoped to establish a socialist utopia based on the principles of the German economic and political philosopher Karl Marx. In Das Kapital, Marx advanced an economically deterministic interpretation of human history, arguing that society would naturally evolve from a monarchy and aristocracy to capitalism and then on to communalism, a system under which all property would be held in common. The dignity of the poor workers oppressed by capitalism would be restored, and all people would live as equals. Marx followed this sober and scholarly work with the Communist Manifesto, an impassioned call to action that urged workers of the world unite. In the Russia of 1917, it appeared that Marx's dreams were to become reality. After a politically complicated civil war, Tsar Nicholas II, the monarch of Russia, was forced to abdicate the throne that his family had held for 3 centuries. Vladimir Ilyich Lenin, a Russian intellectual revolutionary, seized power in the name of the Communist Party. The new regime took land and industry from private control and put them under government supervision. This centralization of economic systems constituted the first steps in restoring Russia to the prosperity it had known before World War I and in modernizing the nation's primitive infrastructure, including bringing electricity to the countryside. After Lenin died in 1924, Joseph Stalin and Leon Trotsky jockeyed for control of the newly formed Soviet Union. Stalin, a crafty, manipulative politician, soon banished Trotsky, an idealistic proponent of international communism. Stalin then began to consolidate his power with brutal intensity, killing or imprisoning his perceived political enemies and overseeing the purge of approximately 20 million Soviet citizens. This is all about George Orwell and Russian Revolution. In the next lecture, we will deal with the plot. We will have the plot overview of Animal Farm. Thank you.